You want a little history here?
Yeah.
So back in the day, Final Cut Pro 7 was the last, great version that everyone considers for Final Cut before they went to Final Cut X.
Yeah.
And Paul Saccone, who actually worked for Apple on Final Cut up through Final Cut 7, went to work for Blackmagic Design afterwards, when it was just purely still industry level color grading. It used to be like $150,000 to get DaVinci Resolve because you would have to buy the panel, and like the way you got the software was buying the big giant panels, and you were basically buying a whole system. Well, then it dropped down in pricing and all that, and Blackmagic brought down the pricing a huge amount. You can still buy like the $30,000 advanced panel, but they have now a $3,000 panel and then a really smaller micro panel that's $1,000 basically. They make all that for colorists, but then all the editing tools were added in over the course of the last decade, and you look at it, Paul Saccone's footprints or handprints are all over it because he comes from Apple's Final Cut, goes over to Blackmagic, and they get all these nice, sweet editing features in there, and it really becomes what, honestly, I think Final Cut should have been after the, going from Final Cut 7 to Final Cut X.
So what I'm hearing is, folks, Blackmagic stole from Apple. Hot take right here, right now. Tim, breaking news. We wouldn't have DaVinci without Final Cut.
They stole employees who were disgruntled. But actually, Paul Saccone now isn't even with Blackmagic Design anymore. He's actually over at Frame.io.
We just need to follow Paul Saccone. Wherever he goes.
Frame.io,
he's
guys,
the future.
Buy stock right now. You want some financial tips? Buy stock with Frame.io.
But that's Adobe now because Adobe acquired them back in 2020.
So I take that back.
So we're back at Adobe. I'm going. Sorry, Tim. I'm leaving DaVinci.
Well, again, like this was something that was disappointing to me when Adobe acquired Frame.io because it's but we all just started getting away from Adobe